Very excited to continue working on some of these videos. I think I put the most editing so far into this one in particular, but these are just so fun because of how absolutely beautiful this game is. Previously, we looked at all 18 primary weapons, followed by all 11 sidearms. And now in this video, we're going to take a look at all 10 specialty weapons. Hey, speaking about sidearms, I finally ran into some crows, and I used the stun gun. It's tricky, but it works. And if you're looking forward to more Days Gone videos, hit that subscribe button. My next video is going to be a very simple but extremely effective bike tip that I'm very excited to share with you guys. It has completely changed the whole bike mechanic, and it's one super easy switch. I didn't like the gun mechanic until this tip, and it changed it completely, so much so the video following the bike gunplay mechanic, I'm gonna do a bike hoard challenge. So stay tuned for those two videos. Now, starting off the specialty weapons, we have the crossbow. Now, you can either get the crossbow, the standard one, the default, or the drifter crossbow. Now, I believe you get the drifter crossbow sometime throughout the game. I got it as a pre-order bonus, so I started the game right away with it. Now, it's only a tiny bit more powerful, and I believe a little bit more accurate than the standard. But again, it's only so small, it's kind of laughable how small the difference is. But it's a fun and interesting weapon. It's 5 weapons in one, actually. When it comes to crafting the ammo for the crossbow, I found this to be really neat with a wide variety, and it definitely gives you incentive for looting because you don't just go to the merchants to buy bullets. You actually go to a cedar sapling tree while on a mission, or whether you're just riding around enjoying the atmosphere, enjoying the different weather, or exploring. And you farm the materials needed to craft the bolt, and then scrap and other materials depending on the different variations that you're using. Maybe kerosene for the incendiary, the residue from the freaker nests for the residue bolts, or the poison for the poison bolts, and obviously gunpowder and stuff like that for the explosive bolts. So it's a pretty wide range and a nice mix, very rewarding when it comes to looting while using this weapon. Starting with the 5 different crossbow bolt types, you can craft the explosive bolt. Each bolt has a unique look. The explosive bolt looks like a grenade launcher round at the tip of it, and obviously it has a distinctive explosive sound when you shoot it, and it explodes. Just be careful not to shoot it too close to you. You can craft a resin bolt, and the actual bolt in the crossbow would look like a spiderweb kind of over the bolt. This resin bolt turns any enemy ultra violent, and they'll attack whatever enemy is closest, whether that's you or one of the enemy's friends or allies, freaker on freaker or human on human. Of course, you have your standard bolt, and this is the one where you can carry the most of. You can craft a poison bolt, which has a cool green mist around the bolt end where the poison is. And this actually makes your enemies sick. I've seen some of them run around and slowly poison as far as some of the human ones. And then I've seen some where they get sick almost immediately. They flail, they throw up. And it's just an interesting way to kill your enemies slowly while they vomit on themselves. And finally, you can craft the Incendiary, which, you guessed it, has a ball of fire at the end, hits its target, and bursts the victim, the poor bastard, into flames. Side note, humans and freakers, the swarmers, some of the weaker ones, will light on fire and die. Some of the tougher ones will not, unless maybe it's a headshot on the breaker. I haven't hit the Reacher with a headshot, but I know I have burnt one up, and he survived all burnt up, and I had to shoot him after. So, be warned, one won't do it for every freaker. All together now. Now let's move into the sniper rifles, starting with the M40. It packs a punch, but it's a bit slow. Next, we got the C8 rifle, which is a semi-automatic. Again, it ain't the greatest, but if you're upgrading, you're going to want to pick this puppy up. You missed the first shot, you can quickly readjust and get him with another one. Next up, the Talon 7, which is sexy, but a very slow rate of fire. Next up, the BFG. It is simply a beast. A big fucking gun. If you like sniping, get this one. Next up, the SSR, another fantastic choice.
Whew, okay.
Now back to back so you can hear the subtle differences in each crack. Next up, we got the Hoard Hunters. These are fully automatic, big-ass magazines. The reticle's something I want to touch on quick. It's similar to the shotguns in this game where you get two lines on either side. Now, in the beginning, I didn't really like it. It didn't feel tight enough. But after a while, I realized what I think they were going for. It's to clearly line up your enemy in between those two lines. And after I got used to it, I grew attached to this type of reticle. And I absolutely love it because the two lines give you a gauge where you can see where the invisible dot would be. And when you get the hit marker, you get that recognition that your shot was on point. Even without shooting at an enemy, you can shoot at an item out in the world and you can still see the bullet hitting right on target. Again, utilizing this reticle the way it was meant to be. Using the guider lines to see the invisible center where you're shooting. So these next three I think I love equally. I just keep switching back and forth between one or the other depending on what I'm in the mood for. So let's start this off with the MG45. Next up, the MG55. A little more damage, a little more accuracy, a little more stopping power. However, a slightly smaller magazine. Next up is the RPD, which has very similar stats compared to the 45 and the 55. Sounds just as cool, feels just as fun to use mowing down a horde. And again, out of these three, I show equal love bouncing back and forth depending on what mood I'm in. All together now, one shot. All together now with automatic fire. And all together now with the automatic fire while focus aiming, which unfortunately sounds a little too similar. It sounds like the same thing. To me, it does. I like variety. I wish they all sounded a little more different. And that's the end of the three-part breakdown covering the primary weapons, sidearms, and specials. Now we can move on to some more Days Gone, especially the Horde fights. And I'm open for suggestions, so you got an idea? You want to see something? Even if it's something you think is impossible, like a melee-only Horde battle, let me know if it is. I promise not to use anything like, I don't know, dynamite to blow up 95% of the Horde and then melee the last 10 friggin' freakers, because that just doesn't count. Put your suggestions in the comment box. I'm done playing, so it's your turn.